So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into WWE. So here's Roman Reigns talking with Javon Evans and them just cooling it back. Okay, it's just his music playing. All right, well, I would love to hear what they're saying, not just the music playing. But yeah, giving advice to the youngins. Stephanie McMahon says her oldest daughter, Aurora, once aspired to get into wrestling, but that changed after the events surrounding Vince McMahon. Oh, no. She's naturally gifted in the ring. Natty used to train her a long time ago, and then everything happened with my dad and the business, and I left. I think I don't realize necessarily the impact it had, especially on Aurora, but on all my kids. Aurora always saw a path forward through the business, and when everything happened, suddenly that wasn't there anymore. She had to shift her focus on what she thought she was going to do, and that happens in life anyway. You constantly change and all of that. Damn, so it just like crushed her wrestling dreams or what? Hopefully she gets back into it. Speaking of having your dreams crushed, here are dreams coming true. This is new WWE signing Cyrus Habibi Likio. And this is the moment, like an NFL draft moment, that he discovered he would be in WWE.
So we want to extend your contract to become a WWE superstar.
Well, the news is out. For those who don't know, I got invited to a WWE tryout a few months ago. By God's grace, I made the tryout and signed a 3-year contract. And for those who know me, y'all know I'm the king of side quests. We packed up our entire life on the West Coast, hopped on a plane, and moved all the way to Orlando, Florida. And the best part is, your boy documented the entire thing. Want to give a huge shout out to my wifey and kids for just always being down to move with me and do anything spontaneous that I want to do. We have been in Orlando, Florida for a few weeks now and are slowly getting settled. Moving across the country with an entire family and starting fresh has been a challenge, but we look at it more as a blessing. We shipped all of our necessities, but honestly started from scratch. We had to purchase new furniture, new cars, which I'm actually in the process of right now, and even all new home decor. But honestly, whatever's thrown at us, we know it's all part of God's plan and we'll always trust in our Lord and Savior. Please follow and stay tuned for more content.
So he's like this influencer dude. I don't know. What's his background? Did he play football or something like that? I'm curious. Either way. Speaking of recent signees, the latest signing, Igel Blanc, will now go by the name of Elio Lafleur, and he'll be making his AAA debut. So high hopes for this guy. He's under his mask. They did WWE-ify his name, but indie sickos are hyped for this guy and European wrestling fans. So yeah, here they are coming soon. Megan Walker, Cyrus Habibi Likio, Jessica Mogdanov. Boom. There's your 3 newest NIL recruits. We talked about Stephanie McMahon, and she had an interview with AJ Lee here. And man, does Fanatics get testy with these clips from their shows. But here's What's Your Story with Stephanie McMahon. Check this out. And here is AJ Lee talking about her controversial tweet to Stephanie McMahon, where she buried Steph.
In which you had posted about...
They address it.
Equal pay.
Yeah, I think it was Patricia Arquette. At one of the award shows had talked about equal pay.
Yes.
And I did a hashtag use your voice.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was the trending hashtag or just what, but I amplified it.
Yeah. And then I retweeted it. And I said, wow, like now we're talking about use your voice. We don't get equal pay, essentially.
Chat, use your voices, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit heart, hit retweet, all that good.
Yeah, we're bringing in more eyeballs than a lot of the men.
We can put it up here because it wasn't like,
I don't even remember.
It was pretty direct.
I like that Stephanie McMahon doesn't shy away from this sort of on her show.
It was probably pretty feisty.
It was, but that's great. But so it says, because I'll read it since we were talking about how bad all of our vision is. Your female wrestlers have record-selling merchandise and have starred in some of the highest-rated segments of the show several times. Is that it? I thought there was more.
You go back up.
Oh, and yet they receive a fraction of the wages and screen time of the majority of the male roster. Hashtag use your voice.
Yeah. And that to me felt, I liked, in general, I'm fairly direct. I try not to be rude. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I have no filter. And so it's an excuse for being rude. But like, I think you can be direct, but very practical. And so I felt like it was coming from like a practical place, very direct. But I also was a bit like, I ain't got nothing to lose right now.
Yeah.
And
yeah, they were like WWE. The AJ Lee would be in AEW with CM Punk right now. if didn't, go the way it did with all that bullshit and Tony Khan fearing for his life and empty-headed fucking Hangman.
Well, and you were champ at the
And
time.
I was champ
so
at the
actually
time.
you did have a lot to lose.
But to me,
I mean, the courage
yeah.
that not only that, right, but the courage that it took to fight for what you believed
Right.
in. And, the fact that you really were a different character, than any type of stereotype. Like you came out of nowhere and the audience loved you from the start.
Yeah.
I mean, they really did. They just connected with you in such a special and unique way. And I appreciate your directness. I'm a direct person as well. I'm sure some people think I'm rude.
Yeah, there's like lots of stories of people like, damn, Stephanie was like being a bitch to me once she got uncreative and stuff.
But I don't mean to be, like, to your point. I hate all the BS. Like, let's
Yes.
just have the conversation.
Yeah.
And I was actually very, it's funny because I was preparing for the interview and I was looking that up. That's how I knew what it was. And I read like all the backstage gossip about what happened. And I was like, oh my God, I don't even
Was
think I knew that
everything
at
wrong?
the time. Yeah. It's just so interesting because
Yeah.
people never really know.
Dave, you son of a bitch. Dave Meltzer making up fucking lies. Like he always fucking does, huh? Making up lies back then too, dummy.
Right.
No.
But I was actually happy that you posted that. I wasn't happy that it was directed at me because it wasn't anything I had direct control over. But I was really happy that you did because that movement, the whole women's evolution in WWE, it didn't happen because of executives or it didn't happen because, I mean, maybe along the way, people voicing their opinions, but it really happened because of the women.
Yeah.
Who paved the way all the way back to the beginning of all of these incredible women who have been inside the squared circle, no matter what promotion they were in. But then for our audience, when they started the hashtag Give Divas a Chance at that time, that's what couldn't be ignored.
Yeah.
And the audience would never have gotten behind the movement if it weren't for people like you.
Thank you.
Who actually stood up.
Yeah, it's true. And now you watch WWE and some people might say, oh, well, the ratings are the worst they've been, but they do the most women's wrestling, like out of any half their fucking show or more is women's wrestling. They end with women's wrestling in the main event segments and matches all the time now.
Up for women publicly. And I mean, like, take on the machine a little bit,
Right.
Thank
Rage
you.
against
It
the
was a big
machine.
deal, I thought,
I appreciate that. And I feel like change doesn't happen unless there's sacrifice, unless you have to be willing to lose everything to get what you want. And I feel like that in every aspect of life, like playing it safe might give you a safe life.
Right.
But I don't know if it gives you an exceptional life.
Right.
And so I felt like that was worth it, whatever backlash was going to be. But I thought you were cool after, like, everyone was pretty chill and like, it was business. And I appreciated that. But, it was a rough time.
But yeah, I mean, and there was a lot of things happening
There was a lot
at that time.
Yeah.
So
There's a
I'm
lot.
sure everyone could read into it however they wanted, but
Yeah.
it was so important.
Yeah, hell yeah. So on this same show, AJ Lee talked about how her and Punk got together.
Put him through a table. Like we dated probably 2 years after our storyline. But our first kiss is on television, and then I put him through a table.
As one does.
Yes. Wrestling relationships. I think we in NXT, he was one of the announcers, and when everyone else was like shit on us, he would be like, but AJ's cool. Like he was always like putting me over. And I think he just knew I like loved wrestling. And so like when we did the storyline together, I
They're gonna cry talking about Punk, dude.
remember there was
Chick
like
Magnet Phil.
he was supposed to say something really mean to me in like one of the live, one of the backstages that was like going on live, and it was live. So he didn't say the mean thing, and he like hit on me or something, like he wasn't supposed to. And I was like, that was so
You were like,
cool.
wait, that was
Yeah,
okay.
it was not in the script, but he like took care of me, and I thought that was like really, really nice. And I think we just, I don't know. It sort of
it evolved.
Yeah, I think we were like friends first, dating other people, and then once we were both single at the same time, and I think a part of me was like, who knows? Let's try this out.
Let's give it a shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I blinked, and we were married in like 2 months or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, guys know pretty quick.
But I do remember, like, when we were just friends, like zero romantic interest. We were talking like a restaurant one time, and he was saying something about like, that he knows he's never getting married, and a weird voice in my head went, you're gonna marry me. And I was like,
Really?
I was like, bitch, who was that? Gene? I was like, what? And then I like didn't talk to him for probably like a year. I was like,
Bitches are kooky, man.
that was yeah.
Go through my head.
Bitches be crazy. Am I right, fellas?
No, I never
That's
wanted to get
amazing,
married.
though.
No, I don't believe in marriage. I still would be like, don't get married to people. It works for us. I don't think it lasts forever. I think people grow. I think people grow.
So those are the only really interesting bits from that pod. Speaking of interesting bits here, at Raw, we talked about it earlier. Brock Lesnar had a nasty wipeout when he came out on the ramp. Look at this shit. He just slips. Boom. It's just how he plays it off. Like, you could laugh at Brock. It's like, yeah, that's funny. Whatever. He'll beat the fuck out of everybody. Like, it's like, whatever. He's still super rich and mega powerful. And if aliens came down, we'd pump him full of fucking super juice and send him to fight them. Like he's the man anyways. So the slip means nothing. All good, Brock. But I was laughing. I could not stop laughing when so David Otunga, speaking of laughing, he's become a bit of a laughing stock on the YouTube or IWC sphere of pro wrestling, where a lot of people are shitting on his content. They're like, dude, he went to Harvard Law just to make a shitty YouTube channel or something, which it's like, oh, come on, that's not very fair to criticize him like that. But here is, I guess, a bit of a conspiracy theory. Or not even a conspiracy theory. He's just stating facts about when you buy a ticket to a WWE event, but it's spooky. You're signing a contract.
Did you know that when you buy a ticket to a WWE event, that you're essentially agreeing to a contract between you and WWE? The ticket you have is granting you what's called a revocable license. So you have a license to be there and attend this event, but it's revocable because at any time and for any reason, the event staff, WWE, they may revoke your license and remove you from the premises at any time. Now, this could be for things such as disorderly conduct, making, defamatory comments, something like that, but it also could be for nothing. Like, you could have a sign that maybe has profanity on it. Okay, that's understandable. But what if you have a sign who's promoting a wrestler from a rival company? Because this happens every now and then. And those people somehow seemingly get their signs taken away, or they just get bounced altogether. And you may wonder, is this permissible? Yes, technically it is. Under the contract you signed, and then you might say, but I didn't sign a contract. Oh, no.
Who's your editor? David, hire me. Where's that lawyer money, dude? Let's punch this up. What the fuck? Who put this together? This is like a fucking Kevin Samuels video.
Your ticket is the contract, because without that ticket, you do not have a license to be in the venue or to be present.
Damn, I don't know, man. That's cool. He's dropping knowledge, but again, it's like the Tony Khan thing. You could drop that on us in a way more exciting way. Speaking of exciting, AAA Worldwide arrives on Fox in 2026 for Mexico, Central and South America. And the WWE and Lucha Libre, Triple H says partnership continues to showcase the best of Lucha Libre and honor the history and legacy this incredible culture. And starting in 2026, our stars, our fans, and our industry get the incredible opportunity to partner with Somos Fox across Mexico, Central, and South America. Amazing. So, Conan, hats off to you. You're fucking proving him wrong. Dave Meltzer said, well, Conan and Eric Bischoff can prove Tony Khan wrong now. And they are. They look at the ratings and the ticket sales for RAF and AAA and the YouTube numbers and shit for AAA. That's all you got to look at. Here was Lil Yachty. Speaking of looking at, here's Lil Yachty, or as Dave Meltzer calls him, Cuervo, in the building. Lil Boat hanging with Shawn
Are
Michaels.
you from here? Okay, very nice. Good for you. We're there all the time. Like, all right. Well, look, anytime you want to come, man, just let us know. You're welcome anytime. That's awesome. Very nice. What I was going to say, Atlanta, farther south is always better. Yeah.
That's actually true. That's true. Thank you.
Moving along here. So Asuka accidentally misted a security guard and he sold it really well. We're looking at clips of Raw and SmackDown. So she like puts the thing in her mouth. It's back there. You can see her doing it. The fan cam. Security guard selling better than Will Ospreay, bruv. Selling better than Ospreay. Dude, how's he going to sell better than fucking Ospreay or Darby Allin or Moxley? Speaking of crazy, Brody Lee Jr., we talked about him earlier. He revealed that he's not signed to AEW, but he signed a weird contract where he can sign to them when he's 18 and he can have a death match with Moxley or some bullshit. But even he understands what the big leagues are, and he says he's going to retire a current WWE champion
There's
one day.
something that something will happen where Cody will retire and I will be it. I will do my best to retire Cody Rhodes. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I hope people clip this years from now and they start the little edits that they make with you saying this, and then next thing you know, it's just in video packages.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna make a mental note. I want to see you retire Cody Rhodes.
That would be crazy if it happened, man. All these wrestlers fucking kids on the come up now. Speaking of on the come up, Randy Orton teamed up with IShowSpeed, and I forget what this is called, but they did some special. IShowSpeed did some special where he trained to wrestle and he actually like had a match, and Randy Orton was with him along the way. Let's take a look at some of this stuff. Shout out. It's called Speed Goes Pro. So I don't know. Is this a TV show? Is this an internet show? I have no clue.
Don't move until I kick you. Oh, see, I like that cell. Oh. Just get one right there. Oh. Stop. You're not going to feel it. Oh. Oh. Here we go. Oh. Here we go. Oh. We're taking the bump now. Oh. Taking the bump. Nice and easy. 1, 2. Oh my God. We're working. Oh, spread eagle. Oh,
spread eagle. We're working. Spread eagle. So your instinct is to not let people do that to you, you know?
God!
Against your will.
Oh my. That's not a thing, but. Did I really get you? All right, come on. Stand up, stand up.
Damn, there you go, man. And he actually, here's another clip from that. He actually has a match with the guy Anthony Luke from LFG or whatever. Go and check out whatever this is, web series, TV show. I don't know. Just don't snipe me, Twitter. Pardon me, YouTube gods, YouTube overlords.
You got more personality than
and if it does, patreon.com/pro wrestle town.
That's all right. Keep doing what you've been doing. You got this, baby. You got it.
He's hyping IShowSpeed up. Orton worked himself into this new role of like he's every streamer's best friend. I think IShowSpeed legit like broke some record for like running a certain distance or something recently. I think I saw a video of that.
Jesus Christ. Come here.
So yeah, he is very, very athletic, you know, much more athletic than like a dank ops, much more equipped to pro wrestle I would say. But there's another clip where he actually wrestles against Anthony Luke a little bit. And yeah, it's called Speed Goes Pro. And this is just at the Performance Center here in front of like an LFG sized crowd. At least he's like learning the right way, you know? Fit Finley, he's popping Finley, dude.
He's only been doing this 2 days, but he's oozing charisma. So right away, I was into who Speed is as a WWE character.
And that's Maxine Dupree's boyfriend that he's wrestling.
Hey, come here. You got more personality than everybody sitting there.
So here's him like hyping him up. We'll go back to this because this is where we
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I was gonna say you can't give him a win in his first match, brother. He gets like the selling everything, at least. Like he's not just laying there taking moves, he's selling every single thing that the guy's doing, which is like a key part of it. And his facials are like kind of over dramatic, but he's selling, and that's, I mean, selling sells, man. I've said it a million times. See, it's just like all the NXT guys in the crowd, like Javon and fucking Shiloh Hill and everything.
I was worried he was going to maybe get a little nervous when I had all the fans in here, but
Nexus
I think
gang.
that just motivated him. When he heard the fans, he even came alive more than I thought he would.
And this is where Vince Root, bro, wrestling's not cool, bro. This is like how, I mean, this is what's making it cool again. Are these fucking streamers? All these millions of kids love these fucking guys. It just exposes WWE to them. They could have done this with Big Boom AJ. Nope. Just puts them in a tag with QT Marks. And you know who they are. He's decent. He's got to slow the fuck down. Everything's just too fast, you know?
It's that time.
Yeah, hell yeah. You got to lose your first one. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Shout him out. We talked about Raw earlier. Penta hurt himself, and during the commercial break on the international feed, it's a shoot injury. You could they handle it. That's, again, Seth's injury was fake. I called it because they just handled it way differently than Liv's, and they handled Liv's the same way they handled Penta's.
And no doubt about it here with Penta.
Just the Penta way, twisting and turning.
So he just fucked his arm up. He was mad about it.
On that landing, it was an ugly landing on medical staff.
And good thing they, unfortunate for this tournament, though, because like Sheamus got hurt as well. People are getting fucking injured. This main roster's banged up. God damn it, WWE. So speaking of banged up, here is the women. We're watching WWE stuff. Here is the women's version of the WrestleMania promo. Everyone was melting down. Oh, when are the women gonna get a promo? And like, there you go. The women are getting their own "We're in Vegas" promo. Who knows if they film those in a response to what people were saying about WWE and the men getting their own commercials, but either way, they're filming one for the women, so stop crying. Speaking of stop crying, tonight's event marks WWE's highest ticket distribution at the Paycom Center. So this was on Monday, and the second screenshot below shows every visit to the venue during that period. So from 2021 till now, they went from 4,000, 4,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 on Raw every time they go there. And people, Dave Meltzer was just talking about the peak period's over, Brian. This indicates the exact opposite. And it's so funny, Dave goes, the peak period's over, and then we're seeing WWE bounce back in the ratings. The ticket sales are nuts. It's just funny how all of this egg on his goddamn face. Speaking of egg on face, Timothy Chalamet is the next guest on Cody Rhodes's What Do You Want to Talk About? And that's not egg on face. I don't know why I used that It wasn't even a segue. It was just me copping out there, folks. It's getting late. But Cody Rhodes is going to have Timothy Chalamet on his pod. I mean, that is a pretty big fucking deal. So hopefully we get some juicy clips of Chalamet talking about himself marking out or whatever. Speaking of marking out, Seth Rollins explains that he hates WWE Unreal and the behind-the-scenes content. He says he hates it. He doesn't hate all of it. Some of it's fascinating and interesting, but there's some things that in our business, everybody knows what it is. Why remind me of it? Is basically the point. Maybe there's something there. Maybe that could happen. The unpredictability it creates, that's the magic. Why would you want to fucking chip away? So I respect Seth for having that take. Netflix just revealed that last week, the November 17 episode of Raw drew 3.1 million viewers, making it the highest rated Raw since the Raw After Mania. That was John Cena's final Raw. 3.1 million viewers. Again, Dave's talking about the peak is over. The peak is over, Brian. And then it just bounces right back because they're fucking clowns coping. We're going to cover it tomorrow. Dave Meltzer, Dumb Moment of the Week. ESPN president Burke Magnus says that WWE partnership has been great so far. Survivor Series will be a good measuring stick. And he says it's gone great so far. Obviously, we're very familiar with Nick Khan and the team over there. We've had engagement with them for years in much smaller ways, but they're fantastic to work with. We're looking forward to WrestleMania this year, which would be our first. We've had 2 PLEs to date. One of them was in the Middle East, so it was on and off hour. WrestlePalooza was new, and so Survivor Series this weekend actually will be a really good measuring stick for how it's going. Dave's going to lie and say it didn't do so good, even though the building fucking sold a bunch of tickets before they announced anything, and even though it'll be a huge success, he's going to spurg out about it. But in terms of interaction between the team at WWE and us, it's been great. It's just business jargon. And you look, SmackDown, though, they're set up for 5.6K tickets. They have 4K tickets sold. This is for December 12th, though. Still some time. They'll sell out the setup. But yeah, SmackDown just not doing as hot. Oh, well. And here's another SmackDown in February. They've sold only just under 4,000 tickets. They're set up for 7,000. So if people want to clown SmackDown and them tarping off sections, that's totally fine, I guess. But as far as Raw is concerned, those, it's not a WWE. All of AEW's like that. It's not like that in other companies. TNA just runs smaller shit, and WWE, their SmackDown shows like that, or NXT, but Raw's still stroking. And that's not to make excuses. I just think that SmackDown could be a stronger show. People are starting to realize that. The Netflix shows are just where they're at. They're bonkers, and they've been trying to make SmackDown a little more bonkers, which is good. And yeah, hopefully it just it bounces back or whatever. SmackDown, no matter what happens, though, they're going to keep their fingerprints on like USA or one of these fucking networks, right? So it just really doesn't matter at the end of the day, because streaming is the fucking future. We all know that. And speaking of people being over and shit that we know for sure, we had Triple H. He gives fans a special look, a rare look at Bray Wyatt's original lantern, and shares the story behind how it was created.
Bray Wyatt, of course, the light.
Yeah, the original lantern, which for me is really cool because Bray and I worked together on that very first moment of that entrance. And, there's a moment in time where they were looking for him to, we're going to have lasers and we're going to have all this stuff. he and I talked about it. I was like, does this feel right to you? And he's like, no, it doesn't. And I went back and talked to our guys and was like, look, this is the exact opposite. This guy's he's a cult leader from the swamps.
Yeah.
Like, he shouldn't have, like, as a backwoods guy, he should, like, what would scare me is him coming through the woods at night carrying this lantern, and I can barely see his face and make out who he is. And that's how the concept came to be. Bray was like, I love that. And then we started riffing on it and how we could do it. And I can still pick.
So do you guys think Triple H is trying to take credit for some of Bray Wyatt's shit
Allegedly.
or what? I mean, people give him shit for being a mark for like producing all these entrances and stuff. Would it shock you if this was really true?
After him, with Harper and Rowan behind him, with us trying to move the lantern to where we could see.
And this got developed in NXT, so he was
his face and see them slightly enough to
Masks,
get them, but not see too much. And him being like, this thing's too fucking heavy. I can't hold my arm up this long. You know what I mean? And just all the bits and pieces that go into the creation of these, for me, make them even more special. But for fans,
they just cut it off before the fans part. You goddamn sickos. Okay, so we have like the major thing here. Becky Lynch. Okay, she dropped some fucking heat on Bert Kreisler's fucking Something's Burning podcast or show where he sloppily cooks food. And oh man, there is some of the old episodes are just cringe-worthy material. And people like Red Bar have dissected those and made fun of them. And Bert Kreischer's like trying to sell this thing. Whatever all these fucking LA comedians are trying to do now, just all these people in general, they're trying to make their podcasts so that they get picked up by Netflix now and shit like that. You know, they're trying to come up with ideas for shows that get picked up by networks. And I'm not even hating on that. I might even do that myself one day. It's just so obvious. And Bret Kreischer has tried to do this multiple times. Like, this show's look different. I think it's been out of different kitchens. The format has been different like 3 times. And it's not a terrible idea. It's just Bart Crenshaw is just cringe. And like the masses, it's got to be a different host, I feel like, for this show. And there's better versions of this that like Alex Volkanovsky or like a fucking Gordon Ramsay even does sort of a version of this. Like, there's just better versions of like sit down with celebrities that I know and cook them food. You know what I mean? But either way, that aside, Becky Lynch had a few podcast appearances, and then she got into a bit of a mess here with Limitless Macy Estrella. What was her name? Lacey Evans. So Becky Lynch, she makes this wild comment here on this show.
Trying to, as the kids would say, riz you up.
They say riz you up.
Riz you up.
Yeah, well, the kids are saying it these days.
Riz you up.
Seth Rollins rizzed her up. Okay, listen to her response.
He did riz you up.
I think they're one letter off.
He riz you up. It sounds weird to say he seduced.
Jizzed you up. Damn.
The best guy's Tony Khan.
God damn, dude.
Wrestling's not fake.
You know what they say, chat.
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
God damn. But this is another show where it's like your last meal. If you could have your last meal, what would it be? And then you tell this guy, he gets it for you, and then he interviews you. Brilliant concept. Way better than Barrett Kinsler's version of Something's Burning or whatever the fuck.
That was my next question, so now we gotta skip. It. Trying to, as the kids would say, riz you up.
She popped herself. That's solid shit. That's solid shit right there. Okay, so now we head over here to Brett Kirby's podcast, Something's Burning. And Becky Lynch says that, speaking of, sexual innuendos and jizzing, she said it, not me. There was a male talent in WWE. It's the sicko segment, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And I put a poll in the chat. Who do you guys think was this sicko? Okay. Was it Ryback? Allegedly. Was it Vince McMahon? Allegedly. Was it, I forget the names I put in there. Was it CM Punk?
Allegedly.
Or was it who the fuck did I put? I don't know, but it's all allegedly. She doesn't name names, but people are out there guessing. They're like, is it Vince? I saw a couple other names floating around. I forget what they were. Chat will help me out, but let's see this poll and who's winning it right now. I guess we could end this poll and you can let us know in the comments below. Batista allegedly, CM Punk allegedly. So 40% say Ryback. I don't know. I just made that one up. I don't think Ryback. That was supposed to be a joke. But it's interesting to see all the different theories arise. But she pretty much lays it out on Front Street. What happened
on the main roster, who was like, be careful.
The
Be careful.
culture of the Harvey Weinstein Company.
Because one, he'll try to sleep with you. If he sleeps with you, then he'll blacklist you.
Oh, Cody Rhodes. I knew it. He slept with. Go ahead.
And if he tries to sleep with you and you don't sleep with him, he'll also blacklist you. So there was this like line that you had to walk this tightrope. You know him definitely, but
you know him definitely.
It was just like line that you had to walk this tightrope.
So if you don't bang this guy, and it was on the main what was her words? Main roster? Did she? Yeah, on the main roster.
On the main roster. Who?
On the main roster. So some people are like, it's John Laurinaitis. Nope. It's fucking. You got to think when Becky, because he wasn't prominent on the main roster. He wasn't when Becky was first like on the main roster. We had just gotten over the Cena Laurinaitis stuff, like on TV and shit. Probably a few years removed, right? Like she would have been in NXT, I think, around that time. Someone on the main roster. Do you think it would have been at that time? How much overlap did NXT have with main roster guys? I guess should be my question. Some people are saying Danielson or Edge. I don't know, man. But she's saying that you have to fuck this dude or he'll bury you. And if you don't, and if you do fuck him, he'll bury you after. Who could that have been?
It was like, be careful.
And she's like, you definitely know them, to this guy, Bert Kreischer. So who could it be? Someone he knows. So it's like a wrestler. It's not like Johnny Ace. Kreischer wouldn't know who that is. You know?
Careful, because one, he'll try to sleep with you. If he sleeps with you, then he'll blacklist you.
Oh, Cody Rhodes. I knew it. He slept with. Go ahead.
And then if he tries to sleep with you and you don't sleep with him, he'll also blacklist you. So there was this like line that you had to walk this tightrope. You know him definitely. But anyway, at one point,
hey guys, hit it up in the comments.
At one point, on the main roster.
I'm really curious as to who she's talking about, and he knows them. Allegedly, this is all allegedly from one Irish person.
Allegedly,
to another. All allegedly here, folks. But what isn't alleged is that Becky Lynch will be in this Star Trek Starfleet Academy show, which will premiere in January on Paramount Plus. A lot of people are hyped for that. But then, Macy Estrella had some shit to say, because Becky Lynch said this, I started working with Lacey Evans right out the gate after WrestleMania 35. God bless her, but she wasn't, for me to go from the main event of WrestleMania to somebody who hadn't done anything was terrible. And then Lacey Evans goes, don't hate the player, hate the game. The only person who cried more than you was the baby I had on my hip while taking all the opportunities. Damn, saying she's a cry baby.
Emotional damage.
And she's like pointing out something that, some people called Becky Lynch a crybaby after her book came out. And she's like, when I met AJ Lee was like a bitch to me. And people said, Becky was being a bit of a crybaby in her book, whatever. Lacey Evans just throwing this out on Front Street and saying she had a baby at the time. She says, when I come back, you will still do nothing but gently shake my hand and say how cute my little family is backstage. Damn. And then this post got deleted. I don't know what this was, but I'm sure it was criticizing Lacey Evans. And she says, I legit learned that move in 2 minutes between homeschooling my kid and making my husband's plate. Something busted out on the indies Becky could never do. Busted it out on the indies Becky could never do. Fucking taking shots and saying she learned real jujitsu techniques. I think they posted like her actually fucking someone up or doing she was in a gym learning like rear naked chokes and shit. Her daughter does martial arts. She does as well. I think they train jujitsu and whatnot. And she's like, yeah, I learned that move in 2 minutes between homeschooling my kid and making my husband's plate. Something busted it out on the indies Becky could never do. Damn, going hard at her.
Sometimes in
man.
life, you got to be a hoe.
And I would just say that Lacey Evans would probably win a shoot fight, but in the end, Becky Lynch, when it comes down to pro wrestling, gonna go down in history as one of the greatest of all time for sure. Just funny to see them talking shit, and Big Time Bex didn't even respond to that. At least I don't think so, even though she was the one talking shit first. So if she just ignores that, it's like, damn, but maybe WWE's like, just don't get into that mess, you know? Like maybe that's too messy for us. Yeah, I don't see any tweets like in response to that. So I think Becky just left it alone. Or she said, insecure me, I'm a lot of things. I'm history maker. No, she's not talking about she's like responding to like Adam Pearce and just staying in gimmick and shit. So Becky, a consummate profesh, you know, spitting some truth there, but not gonna like bury herself or get tangled up in some bullshit with Lacey OF models or whatever. Not to diminish anyone, but Big Time Bex here, baby.